Hello, Anarchyland. How are you doing? I have fly running around here. Fruit flies, driving me crazy. Okay. We've been hearing about dark winter. It's going to be a dark winter. Fauci said it. Biden has said it. Dr. Rick Bright said it. What are they talking about? Well, back in May, I did a series called For Our Own Good. And this was one of the exercises I covered. Now, in a nutshell, for this video, what it was a script. It was based it had to do with a biological terrorism, which China released on Taiwan. Okay, according to this here exercise, it was done June 22nd and 23rd of 2001, about 2.5 months before 9/11. Now, the bioterrorism tool was smallpox. In this exercise, China releases this on Taiwan. The result was this disease, which was intended to wipe out one country, spread everywhere, even into China. Now, smallpox is considered a bioweapon, and it is considered bioterrorism to release it, no matter who releases it. Alright, important thing to think about is one, in 2021 will be 20 years this was done. We are now having serious issues with China over Taiwan. Think about this. This exercise was staged in 2001. Here we are, almost 20 years later, and we are selling major arms to Taiwan that was once a part of China. It's to the point that China is going to sanction American-based companies that operate in China. Companies like Boeing, Lockheed Martin. These kind of companies are going to be sanctioned by China. Now, what is that going to do to our economy? Yeah, because it's not screwed up as is. It's going to put a great deal of pressure on them. I mean, a huge amount of pressure. It's going to put a lot of pressure on us. It's actually going to add more on us. This is the deal. If you think about this, it would be like if China equipped California with huge arms so they could succeed from America. Do you know how well that would go over? Not very well at all. I mean, people freaked out when they found out that there was Chinese citizens that had military experience guarding Chinese-owned companies in Canada. Now, I'm not saying the Chinese army was in Canada. I'm not saying they were on the border. I'm just saying that Chinese-owned companies who had businesses in Canada hired security with Chinese military backgrounds. Think about it. The security they hired from their own nation with training from their own company, their own country rather, to guard their company. And all of a sudden, it just took off like that. The that China was on our border. No, they're not. No. Our biggest threat to you and me is not China, it's not Russia. It's not North Korea or Iran. Hell, it's not even Venezuela for that matter. It is our own government. Check out Minds of Men, a 2.5 to 3 hour documentary that Melissa and Aaron Dykes did, and you will understand. The biggest threat to you and me is our own government. Now, back to this Dark Winter. How can this be played out? There are many ways this could play out. Many ways. We've seen, I was watching Marfugal News, and there's an area of Washington State last week that went 17 hours without electric. Now, it's not quite that cold in Washington State yet. But if this were to happen in, say, January, when there's snow everywhere, and it's cold, it's wet, and people have kids that are sick, they're going to scream at these power companies. And they're going to scream at the politicians, I hope. Is this what Dr. Richard Bright meant by dark winter? He was talking about because of this COVID, which we all know, the actual strain is in the lab. It's only a matter of time till the right opportunity comes and they unleash it. First, I think the opportunity is right around the corner, but hey, that's just me. Now, let's see here. With the situation between China and U.S. over Taiwan, of all things, look, all honesty, they need to work these things out themselves. You know, put your adult pants on, be neighbors, and work it out. Leave the rest of the world out of it. That's just where I'm standing on it. But this dark winter, why are they saying that this could be a dark winter when a power down is not even what the exercise was about? Was there another exercise called Dark Winter that we don't know about? That's a possibility. That is a very high possibility. That there were things in that exercise that did not get released. So, let's move on to how the book of Revelation applies here. Because there is a very big connection here. I've thought long and hard about. And when I did this for our own good back in May, I didn't really think about it. But here we go. 4 horsemen in the book of Revelation is war, famine, poverty, plagues. War. We've been in it for a long time. Famine, well, we've caused quite a bit of that. And poverty, it talks about you need a day's wages to buy a loaf of bread. We're seeing prices in food go through the roof. Plagues. There's many illnesses going around. Some of them are being, I would say, released on purpose. Now, let's look at famine first. While famine is not here in America, not quite yet on a very wide scale basis, like say Yemen, one that we caused, China is about to experience one because of poor planning by the Chinese government. Not the communism ideology, but poor planning by the Chinese Agriculture Department. They had floods, major floods. They are now finally taking up an offer that was made to them by Russia to farm land in the Siberian territory. Now, when you think of Siberia, think of China, Mongolia, Manchuria, North Korea, over in there. However, the stipulation is it can only be used for farming, and that's it. They can live on the land and farm it, but that's it. Now, let's look at war. We have been, like, on every point of this earth ever since 9/11. We're just going to look at the last 20 years, okay? We have destroyed Iraq, stolen their artifacts. This government, this lovely, lovely government, destroyed one of the oldest Christian civilizations in Syria. It's a people that date back to Christ himself. Yemen is a disaster, and people are being starved by Saudi Arabia on our behalf. We've helped Israel steal more land from Palestine in the last 4 years that would be equal to New York, the whole state. Third, poverty. We've caused poverty across this country. Yemen, Venezuela. They recently got a huge win in the United Kingdom courts. A judge said that the gold belonging to Venezuela should be returned to the Venezuelan people, and not really to Maduro, so to say, as a president, but as a citizen of Venezuela. And yet, this has come home to roost. Understand, what you do, things you put out in the world, comes back to you. It always does. Now, we are the ones being broken and put into poverty for our lack of action on the government, instead of disobedience, as Christ would have blessed, and demanding this is saying to stop. We chase the next great gadget. Enough. Seriously, enough. The fourth and final plague. Last 10 years we've watched various diseases emerge. Some of them, I've said, was the exact same disease, just repackaged and pushed out there. But hey, that's just my opinion. The bottom line is American people, the biggest threat to you and me is our government. And that's it. Every disaster has led to another civil liberty, and a civil right being given up willingly. Just, take it. Protect us. There was a time where the men in this country never would have tolerated this. There's no way. Alright. So what is this dark window going to be? You know what? With all honesty, as I've said, we just need to be ready for anything and everything. Whatever they can throw at us, we need to be ready. Now, I have a video that's going to be out tomorrow. This is going up today. On the next 72 hours. That'll be up Monday. And I say repeatedly in that video to pray, to ask the Father in heaven, His Holy Son, for protection. They'll give it, but you gotta ask for it. Alright guys, that's it. I look forward to your thoughts. What's your takeaway of this, how this dark winter phrase is being used? Do you think it's going to be used as it was this exercise, or something completely different? See you